Hello, beautiful soul. My name is Mara, and I welcome you to today's Pick a Card reading. Today, we are taking a look at what your intuition is trying to tell you. What are you unveiling in your life? So I've got 4 different High Priestess cards for you to choose from. These are 4 different tarot decks. We've got the Spirit Song Tarot, the Wise Spells Pause Tarot, the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, and the Fantastical Creatures Tarot. I'm going to hold each of these cards up to the camera for you to choose your pile from, or your reading from rather. And while we go through the reading selection, I will be playing a sound for those of you that like to choose your reading clairaudiently. So let's go ahead and jump into the reading selection. Alright, if you need more time, you can go down to the description box and hit the reading selection timestamp. We're going to begin with reading number 1, but all 4 readings will be timestamped in the description box as well. So go ahead and find your timestamp, and I'll see you there. Hello, group number 1. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see what your intuition is trying to tell you, where it's leading you, what you're unveiling, all the things. Okay, so for group number 1, Spirit, what is their intuition telling them? So we've got the Knight of Crystals, 4 of Shells, and Justice coming out. The crystals in this deck are pentacles and shells are cups, just for anybody that's curious. On the bottom of the deck, you have the 8 of Crystals. So I do feel like your intuition is trying to bring you closer to your purpose. I definitely think that there's more planning needed. It looks like in order for you to really take clear, confident, and effective action in your life, you're going to need to put in a little bit more work where you're currently at, in order to really get to a place where you can take that action and feel good about it. I do feel like your intuition is telling you to slow down a little bit and really focus on where you're currently at and, kind of relax into the planning stage for a little bit. I do think that part of moving forward and part of this slowing down process is to give you a real opportunity and chance to listen to what it is that your soul wants. So again, with that feeling of you moving closer to your purpose and closer to your truth, I do feel like this is going to be a very important part in your life, a very important chapter where you become somebody that maybe you haven't been before, or maybe you develop some things in your life that you just have never had before. And so in order to set the stage very clearly for that, or set the stage for it in a way of like building stability and structure before you welcome in all of this amazing, beautiful energy, I think that there's a certain level of like you kind of reevaluating and really giving yourself a chance to understand what it is that you want on a soul level. So you listening to your intuition, listening to your emotions, really giving yourself the space to digest everything that you're feeling about the path forward, you'll be able to make some very important adjustments in the steps that you're taking. So you're not meant to stop moving. Your intuition isn't telling you to not go. It's just telling you to reevaluate. So if you've been getting these conflicting feelings like, oh, I want to go, but maybe this, maybe that, like I'm worried about this, what about this circumstance or whatever, it may be coming from a place of not needing to go, but because you just need to spend some more time developing what you currently have before you get into the next stage. Okay. Got 8 of feathers, 3 of acorns, so swords and wands. Okay, I do feel that there are some mental blocks here, and that honestly may be one of the reasons why you need to spend some more time where you're currently at. I feel like there could be some things resource-wise that you just don't have yet, and it may be difficult for you to feel like those are accessible to you. It may be difficult for you to feel like, oh yeah, I've got options, I've got the resources that I need, I have this and this and that in order to accomplish everything that I need. And honestly, there may be a point in this self-reflection moment where you realize that you don't really need everything that you thought you did, or that you may not actually want to go in the direction that you thought you did, and so you don't need the same set of tools. I just feel like there's some belief systems that you need to rework in order to move forward in a beneficial way. So with that being said, I do feel like there's a certain level of imagination and curiosity that you should be adding into the mix of this reflection period. So not only is it like doing the actual work, and some of that may be hard to kind of reflect emotionally, but you're also really opening yourself up to a certain level of childlike wonder, where you're working with your inner child, or at least the spirit of playfulness in your life, and you're not putting so much pressure on results. You're not putting so much pressure on, the actual making process. You're just allowing things to flow. You're just kind of being curious and staying open and staying playful about what it is that you are working on. So a little bit of reworking there in your mind may do wonders for you moving forward. I do see with the 3 of acorns that there may be a little bit of this waiting period. I think that that's kind of a common theme throughout your whole reading, but there may be this moment where you release all of this resistance, you no longer hold yourself back, and you feel like you finally found some solutions to the issues that you've been facing in terms of moving forward. But then what? And then there's like a new set of maybe limiting beliefs or maybe emotions that are kind of stuck, preventing you from moving forward. And that is okay. I truly don't feel like there's any need for you to rush through to this next stage where you have all of this clarity. I truly feel that everything that's happening in this step or in this process is happening for a reason, and each step that you take is not only bringing you to that final destination moment, but it's also giving you a certain amount of tools to use in your future for you to practice more consistently in your life. So learning how to self-soothe, learning how to listen to your inner child, your intuition, and things like that, learning how to take practical and slow steps towards your goals, learning how to whatever. So you're doing amazing, and I definitely just feel like your intuition is trying to slow you down a little bit so that you can really take your time in this journey. It's that sometimes annoying quote of like, it's not the destination, it's the journey. But I truly feel that once you kind of channel that and really allow that to be your truth, that you're going to thoroughly enjoy the process of getting to where you want to be. So you have big goals, you have big aspirations, your ideas are amazing, and you are very intelligent. I do feel like you are meant to keep persisting forward. You just need to slow down and plan a little bit more, release some resistance, rework your belief system a little bit, and allow for a more confident journey forward. So if you found this reading to be helpful and insightful and you like the way that I read tarot, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So thank you to everybody who watched today, and I love you all. I'll see you at the next one. Bye. Hello, group number 2. Welcome to your reading. Before we get started, I live in an apartment complex, and my upstairs neighbors are doing some kind of construction, is what it sounds like. So if you hear some knocking around in the background, that would be why. So I apologize if that does come through the microphone. But let's get into your reading. Let's see what your intuition is trying to let you know, what it's leading you to, what's being unveiled in your life. This is such a cute deck, and I love it so much. So let's get into it. For group number 2, Spirit, what is their intuition telling them? Okay, so starting off, we've got the Tower, the Star, and the Ten of Wands with the Two of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like you're going through it. I do feel like if you haven't hit this Tower moment, that this is something that your intuition is trying to prepare you for. I feel like you've been going through a lot of changes. There's been a lot of surprises in your life, a lot of, potentially chaotic moments where some experiences, some circumstances in your life haven't quite lined up in the way that you expected or wanted them to. And so I do feel like there's been some upheaval going on. With that being said, though, we do have the Star coming out. Let's just take a moment to appreciate how adorable this is. I feel like things are getting better, that your intuition is trying to let you know that hope and having a certain level of, faith in your life is going to improve your overall mental health and the way that you feel about your life. With the Ten of Wands, I do feel like your intuition is telling you to do less, that you may be carrying way, 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 way too much, and it's become a burden for you. That even though, you are going to get where you ultimately want to, there's some reevaluation here. There's some letting go. There's some doing some work to not carry so many responsibilities, or maybe just not carry the same responsibilities. Maybe you need to delegate some things, or just kind of reevaluate what it is that's going to be important for you along this journey forward. That way you can fully invest in this feeling of hope and in this experience of things getting better. With the Two of Cups being on the bottom of the deck, I do feel like there's a certain level of connection and healing within your life. I do feel that you aren't supposed to be doing this alone, that your intuition is trying to tell you that asking for help or letting somebody in to assist you, maybe help you carry this load, is going to be beneficial. And you can even see the tip of a car in here, so maybe somebody will be arriving soon to kind of help you, and if you aren't in a space of allowing people to help you, then it may be difficult for you to recognize that that person has stopped and is over there waving and saying, hey, let me help you carry that, or give you a ride somewhere. But I just feel like there may be a part of you that is a little bit prideful when it comes to cleaning up your life or getting to where you really want to be. And so it may be difficult for you to accept any help. So your intuition may just be telling you to work on that. Okay, we've got quite a few cards coming out. A little chunk. I normally don't take chunks of cards, but I'll take it this time. All right. So we've got Knight of Cups, Six of Swords, Seven of Swords, Page of Swords, Four of Swords. Wow. Okay. You've obviously got some stuff to work through in your mind. I do feel that there is... It kind of just seems like there are some beliefs that you currently have that really need to be addressed. I do see you kind of like starting over. And I think that that's going to become your new routine, is you listening to your intuition so that you can make this journey forward and heal some things that maybe you've been carrying for quite some time. And once you get the hang of that new journey forward, once you get the hang of the routines that are going to be implemented during this healing period, that's where you'll be able to rest more often. I definitely feel like in this depiction of the Four of Swords that there's nothing indicating that you've reached burnout. It's more so that you are just taking your time more and learning how to focus on yourself, that you're learning how to really relax and think for you and appreciate your alone time. So it's like you have to accept some help in order to get to a place where you can do things on your own. So I do feel like overall, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, that you're starting something new. You're starting a new path when it comes to your mental health. But in order for things to really improve and for you to feel better about the overall, trajectory of things, you're going to have to listen to your emotions. If you feel really upset about everything that has changed, feel that. If you feel really overwhelmed and you're like, why me? Address it. Maybe you're playing a little bit of a martyr. Maybe you're playing a little bit of this victim role, which, we all do as humans. That's a natural response to life being difficult. And look at it honestly and be very truthful with yourself and kind at the same time, because life does want to improve for you. The universe does want to support you and give you the tools and circumstances that you really want in your life. But if you are not open to navigating those changes with your intuition and really listening to your heart, then I think you may struggle a little bit. You may have a hard time recognizing any of the opportunities that the universe is doing because you're busy looking somewhere else. So there is a path of unpacking the baggage that maybe you're carrying with you. I think that some of that may come into like the pridefulness or the victim mentality that maybe you have, or something like that. And I promise I'm not saying this to like call you out. I'm just saying like there may be some real things for you to address, and your intuition is probably leading you to circumstances in your life where you can improve upon yourself and where you can just get into a place where things are better and feeling better for you. That feeling of pride, hell yeah, you can keep going the journey. You can keep carrying all of the weight of the things that you've already carried with you. That is a path that is available to you. But I think your intuition is trying to lead you to circumstances where you feel like opening up is a good option, where it's challenging maybe, but comfortable for you. And as you make those changes, as you really decide what kind of cycles you want to break, what things you want to leave behind, because I see this journey where you make it to your destination, you make it there, but you have to be the one to say, okay, but all of this stuff that was so unnecessarily heavy along the way, I'm not going to carry with me in this new phase of my life. And so your intuition is just leading you to spaces where you're going to make the decision with your own free will to leave those things behind, to make new neural pathways in your brain, to really address your mental health so that you can rest more and take care of yourself more, and focus on you. Your ideas about your future, they're going to come so much more easily once you embrace all of these changes. And I think that your intuition is really guiding you to this path, and the universe and your guides, it's all together. It's leading you to this point in your life where you're going to be able to make sense of your thoughts, your ideas, the things that you want, your goals, your aspirations. It's all going to feel a little bit more clear, and you're going to feel more confident about attaining it all. And you'll be able to really recognize what opportunities the universe is giving to you. If you're heading through, again, carrying so much weight, it may be difficult for you to realize that there is an opportunity, there is a little seed of momentum for you to nourish and grow. So overall, I do feel like there's a big cycle that is coming to an end in your life, and the majority of how you're going to get there, how you're going to finalize the cycle and then move into the next one, is through your mental health, is through focusing on your belief systems, how you feel about things, and those kinds of things. And once you get there, I do again, I see that restful state of you just kind of resting more, spending more time at home, spending more time relaxing, taking your time a little bit more. Maybe you're just practicing mindfulness, but it's so much more of a relaxed pace than what I think that you've currently got going on. So your intuition, ultimately, to put it in simple terms, is leading you to a space of peace. But there's all of that extraness in between. So if you found this reading to be helpful and insightful, and you like the way that I read tarot, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening and staying open. I wish you all the best in your journey forward. Blessed be. Hello, group number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what your intuition is trying to tell you. What's being unveiled in your life, and so on and so forth. Okay, so for group number 3, Spirit, what is their intuition trying to tell them? Okay, so we've got the Tower, the Lovers, and the King of Swords, with the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like you are at a crossroads in your life. You are at this really big change that's going on, and it's probably extremely uncomfortable. But I do feel that your intuition is telling you to choose the path, if you're facing a fork in the road, to choose the road that is much more connected to a feeling of groundedness and routine. So long-term stability is going to be your best friend right now. I don't think that you're meant to be choosing something based off of just it feeling good right now. And that may be something that you want just because it brings you more relief, but you have what it takes to navigate any changes that need to be made, and for you to make clear decisions in your life to get where you really want to be. I just feel like you need to put a little bit more effort into the long-term path to really get to a place that feels better. Provide for yourself. Think of yourself as somebody that you want to take care of. Somebody that you love. I mean, you should love yourself, but if you're having a hard time making the necessary changes, think of yourself as a loved one that you really want to help through a difficult situation. Yeah, there are just some things that I feel like you really need to pay attention to, some emotions. It looks like there are some difficult things that you may need to feel in order to get to a place in your life that feels better. So it may be hard right now, and I think that your intuition is just trying to tell you, hey, slow down a minute. Don't make decisions based off of guilt. Don't make decisions based off of shame. Make a decision based off of your future self. Make a decision based off of stability and really a sense of groundedness. I do feel like there's a lot of stuff that you need to reflect on right now. And so in the middle of this change, or maybe you've already gone through this and now you're having to make a clear decision to pick up where you can. I feel like the only way that you're going to be able to move forward is if you truly let go of the idea that things are going to get better just because you want them to. And that may be a really annoying and difficult thing to digest, especially if you're somebody who has really worked with the law of attraction and creating, and I definitely feel that you are. I think that your intuition is just trying to tell you that you're also a human. You are a spiritual being first and foremost, and wanting something and, thinking positively about it, nurturing it in your mind is the thing that will really set the stage for that momentum to take place, and that snowball effect of you getting the things that you want. But you also have to take physical, real world, practical steps, and assume responsibility for your creations, for the things that you want. And that may not be possible until you address those more difficult emotions, those heavier topics in your brain. There may be some things that you're really having a lot of anxiety with. Maybe you're having trouble sleeping because of how much worry you have about your future, and really creating the right things. Maybe you have overthought the process of creation and making clear decisions for yourself. And so you're not meant to be reflecting until you drive yourself mad. You're just meant to be feeling, where is this guilt coming from? Where is this fear coming from? Where is that anxiety stemming from in you, so that you don't have to carry it with you forward. And that's not to say that you aren't going to have it rear its head every once in a while, but I think that right now your intuition is leading you to a place of dissolvement. I don't know if that's a word, of you like dissolving the things that really aren't serving you anymore. Almost like a detox space. And so in order for that to happen, I do feel that you're going to need to be less critical about yourself, but also think wisely and make strong and confident decisions about the path moving forward, taking your own hand and not abandoning yourself and leading you forward in your path through life. In the next chapter or so, you're going to have to be your own leader and not rely on anybody else to really get you where it is that you want to be. You have what it takes to create. You do have a lot of tools and opportunities to your advantage, but I think that there's a certain level of fear that may put you back in this cycle of change. Like you may keep repeating this cycle until you acknowledge all of these emotions, until you really give yourself permission to reflect and take time to decide what it is that you really want, first of all, but also to decide, how am I holding myself back? What is it that I'm repeating that could be changed slightly, even if it's just a little bit, to break this cycle that I've been stuck in? I want to pull just a little bit more. Yeah. There's just some stuff that you've got going on that you're just not feeling. That's truly what it breaks down to. And as you listen to your intuition and choose the path that may be harder but more rewarding long term and over time, you're going to be given natural opportunities like in that path to address the things that maybe you've only thought about addressing. It does seem like as you make that journey with yourself that you'll feel less like a victim to life's circumstances and more in control of what you want and what you're creating in your life. And with the Four of Pentacles being on the bottom of the deck, I do want to say, and this also kind of ties into this King of Swords here, that as you do this work to unveil what's in your subconscious and what's keeping you stuck and all of the things, as you do that work, make sure that you are not controlling it so much to the point that you're like, okay, this is my next step. I'm going to be the best at feeling my feelings. I'm going to do it the right way and all of that, because I think that with that, there may come a certain amount of limitations that you then have to work through. So instead of approaching this in this way of like, you have to do it right, just say, I just want to do it. I just want to open myself up. I want to surrender to the process of learning how to embrace and express my emotions rather than hold onto them super tightly and force myself to be a certain way that I'm just not organically. So there is this process of you dismantling some anxiety in your life. And I do feel like your intuition has really led you to a space for success in that. And all of these changes, though they may be uncomfortable and even painful, the decisions that you make moving forward and how you choose yourself is something that will naturally heal that anxiety that you struggle with, or that those fears that you struggle with. Maybe it's not necessarily anxiety. It could be depression. It could be, it could be none of the above and just be a certain level of sadness and confusion. Whatever it is that you're struggling with in your mind, the way through it is going to be embracing the steps that are naturally occurring in your life. So if you're bumping up against big changes, uncomfortable feelings, there's a reason for that. There's opportunity in that. And for you to release some resistance and say, hey, I'm going to take this. I'm not going to abandon myself. I'm really going to give myself the opportunity to feel my emotions and not just think about them. And I'm going to create from a place of honesty. Then I can break the cycle and really change what's been happening for me. Then I can really embrace this new path. So overall, your intuition is definitely leading you to make clear and confident decisions for yourself moving forward, not just for who you are right now and what will serve you in this moment and maybe even give you relief in this moment, but what will continue to serve you and continue to support you. It's also leading you to address some things within, to address some deeper emotions that maybe you've put off for some time, and it's ultimately leading you to break a cycle in your life, to end something that has really taken a toll on you. So you're doing amazing. Keep putting in the work to embrace your emotions and really listen to how you feel. And don't be afraid to do some shadow work. Don't be afraid of that. It's okay to think positively, but you also need to embrace the hard conversations that you may need to have with yourself. So if you like the way that I read tarot, you found this reading to be helpful and insightful, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So I thank you so much for being here, being receptive, and listening to this message. I wish you all of the best in your journey on trusting yourself and diving into your emotions. You're amazing. You've got this. I'll see you at the next one. Bye. Hello, group number 4. Welcome to your reading. Let's go ahead and see what your intuition is telling you. Okay. So, Spirit, for group number 4, what is their intuition telling them? Ah, you got the High Priestess. You're the only pile that the High Priestess came back out for. Okay, so let's get into it. Starting off, you've got the Three of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Page of Wands, and on the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Wands. Interesting. Okay. I do feel that you've got a lot going on. You are somebody who is probably like a jack of all trades. You've got a lot of different passions, a lot of different things that you're wanting to create. And I definitely think that your intuition is leading you into a more of a clear and concise path with all of that. It's not a problem. Let me be clear. It's not a problem for you to have all of those things going on. Okay. An alarm went off on my phone and I had to pause the video, but we're back at it. So it's not a problem for you to have all of those interests and all of those passions. I do feel that your intuition is just leading you to either combine all of them in a specific way, or it's for you to focus more so on one of them. I think that there's definitely some kind of passion project that you are going to be using as you move forward. And with that being said, I don't think that it's supposed to be overwhelming. I do think that you're a little bit overwhelmed right now because maybe you don't know how to converge it all. Maybe you don't know what steps would be the right steps to get where you really want to be. But I do feel that your intuition is trying to provide you with the right steps in order to feel a little bit more clear about what it is that you're creating and working on. If you have, started a business, if you have gotten into art and you're like, there's all these different things that I could be doing, you just don't know where to channel that energy. I feel like life is supplying you with circumstances to figure it out and explore what it is that's going to be worth it to you via your intuition. So as long as you're listening to your emotional guidance system and you're appreciating that natural, like sacred knowledge within you, I feel that there will be a very clear answer that comes to you. So let's explore this a little bit more. Ace of Cups, Ten of Cups, the Emperor, Four of Cups, and Nine of Wands with the Hermit on the bottom of the deck. Lots of energy here. Lots of emotional energy, to be exact. And I do feel that that's, that applies because I think that what you're building towards is, again, it's a passion project. It's something that you feel connected to. I do think that the universe has given you quite a clear opportunity, but it may be a little bit difficult for you to either recognize it or feel worthy of it until you do that reflective period, until you invest in the sifting and sorting experience of listening to your intuition. Because a lot of new age spiritualists, they like to pin intuition into this box of like just knowing the answer and then just following it. And it's really not that simple sometimes. Obviously, sometimes that is how it is, but for the most part, listening to your intuition requires a lot of dedication to yourself and a lot of time reflecting. So I do feel that you have this certain path in front of you that maybe is divinely yours, or not maybe, but it is divinely yours. Maybe it is divinely planned to be a specific way. And in order for you to really go with the flow of it, I do think you're going to have to spend a little bit more time reflecting on how to move forward. There may be some emotions that really are trying to burst through into your reality, and until you address those things, you may have a hard time advocating for yourself. You may have a hard time really deciding what it is that you want to do. If you choose to not address the emotions, that is a path that you could go down. I feel like you may carry a wall with you. You may go into this passion project, but always in the back of your mind wonder, could I have done this, or this? Should I have done this? There may be this wall of fear. So as you gain success within this project or this career that you're building for yourself, you may not want it. You may not appreciate it, and you may close yourself off to it, basically, because you're too afraid to accept it. I think that you have really been through it in life. You have a lot of experience under your belt, and that experience will serve you, but it also has the potential to limit you depending on how you use it. I think that in that experience that you've had, you have likely embraced a lot of tough times, and you've had to make some difficult decisions in your life, and had a difficult journey overall. But that can be used to your advantage in the way of it being encouraging, that it's something that you pull from for inspiration, that it's something that drives you to feel better experiences or to do better in your life. And it can also limit you in the way of like you being afraid that things are going to repeat, you being fearful that that you don't have what it takes to achieve anything else, that you've reached your peak, or whatever the narrative is for you. I do feel that your story, with as big and grand as it is, it can be used in many different ways, and it's really up to you and how you address your emotions to feel good about the journey forward. So there may be some beliefs about your path and what you've already been through that need to be kind of reworked or adjusted so that you can gain the most out of your future path. Because I do think that you're learning a lot about yourself and about what it is that you want to invest your energy in, and that, it does naturally kind of link into the journey that you've been on, the things that you've already experienced, and the hardships that you've overcome. With that being said, I do think that the universe has a pretty significant opportunity for you. And again, it may not already be there. That sounded like I said it may not, but it may already be there. And it's just a matter of you kind of reflecting before you get into it. But this is something that is incredibly emotionally rewarding for you. I do think that your intuition is trying to tell you to reflect so that you can accept all of the beautiful emotion that will come with this opportunity. It's not just this cut and dry job. In the instance of a job, it's not this 9-to-5 thing that you're going to be doing. This is a passion project. It is you embracing your skills in a way that brings happiness to you and deep fulfillment to you, but also happiness and fulfillment to others. And that may also kind of be why it's so important for you to really embrace your path and the things that you've been through, because without those steps that you've taken in your life, you may not be in a position to help people experience that. So yeah, I just feel like there's this energy of a lot going on, and for you to find the clarity that you need, you're gonna have to spend a little bit of time in this hermit mode where you are reflecting on what it is that you want. Yeah, especially with 3 of Wands being under that. The ideas will come, the the things that you want will come. And in fact, the Three of Wands can often point to a time where the universe has heard you, it recognizes you, and it's just a waiting period. And in that waiting period, don't get bogged down and worry like, have I made the right decision? Am I not doing enough? Just reflect on how you want this path to feel moving forward. What is your why of like why you want to do this passion project? I think that intuitively, you know which path you want to take. I think intuitively, you know what it is that's going to bring you the most fulfillment and purpose out of life. And if you feel confused by everything that you're really good at, and then if you're feeling confused by that, give yourself that moment of reflection, because you'll be able to hear your intuition. You'll be able to find that comfort and solace within yourself about moving forward and making decisions for yourself. Just seeing if there's anything else that wants to come through. The last thing that I'm hearing is that you're blessed in all of this. I do feel that there's a certain level of like the universe shining down on you. Like, you have permission to go forward in this. It's really just a matter of you giving yourself that permission too. Yeah. Beautiful. I love this. So if you found this reading to be helpful and insightful, and you like the way that I read tarot, then please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do post a weekly pick a card reading. So thank you so much for being here, being receptive, and listening to your message. I appreciate you all, and I wish you all the best in your journey forward. Blessed be.